Hello friends, welcome, welcome. And da-dun. Here we go. Hello everyone, welcome in, welcome in. We are just waiting for to be shared out and all of the good things. And thank you so much. There we go. Hi there, Miss Mary and Miss Tanya. Thank you so much for getting me shared into the group, and thank you so much for having me. I really do appreciate that. And I am just getting myself where I need to be as well. Miss Ramona, hello there. How are you, my sweet friend? It is so nice to see you. So welcome to Sacred Treasure House. Today is a scrapbook page layout event day, which I'm super excited about. Well, you be safe, Sissa. Make sure that you are driving carefully. Thank you so much for listening in. I do appreciate it. And like I said, today we are doing scrapbook layouts or journaling page layouts. I opted for the scrapbook page layout, seeing as it tends to be a forgotten art. Hello there, Miss Lori. Welcome in, welcome in. And I am doing one a little bit different, maybe. But thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you. So I'm going to turn you guys down. Hello there, Miss Christina. And before me was Miss Christina. Hopefully you guys got a chance to see her. Hey there, Miss Christy from My Artful Adventures. Welcome in. Please make sure that you are following the Sacred Treasure House. It is a free event group, and you get to see everybody there today that is part of the event. Hoping that Miss Deborah, you get to feel better. She's not feeling well, so hopefully she feels better. It is definitely a very interesting event not having her or Miss Lisa in, but you know, we will do the best we can. Well, thank you so much for watching me, Miss Christina. I appreciate you. Hello there, Miss Yvonne. Welcome in, everybody. I hope you guys like what you see and you'll come back and watch me again. And thank you again for being here. So, scrapbook layouts. Now, typically scrapbook layouts are done on a 12 by 12 piece of paper. Hey there, Miss Lori Henderson. Welcome in. So this is what a 12 by 12 piece of paper looks like, just in case if nobody's ever seen it. I did not see that you were not in it either, Miss Tanya. Oh my gosh. Wow, that is definitely out of sorts. But thank you for still hosting the event and having us. I really do appreciate that. I do hope that everybody is doing well though, because that's very weird. Like Miss Christina was saying, it's odd. But thank you so much for having us. I do appreciate that. So scrapbook layouts are 12 by 12 sheets of paper that are decorated beautifully. They're for memory keeping, so you will see them with lots of pictures. And then these pieces of paper that are decorated are slid into page protectors that go into albums. And then you have your albums, right? And the layout could be whatever you want. Now, I'm not going to be working on a 12 by 12 sheet of paper. Okay? Yes, the show must go on. Exactly. But instead, I am going to be working on an 8.5 by 11 size piece of paper that will turn into more of a smaller style album, or this might actually end up probably in a picture frame in my case. So that is why I'm working on a smaller sheet. But think of this as you can make this in larger scale or even smaller scale if you wanted to, okay? I do have two different pieces of paper out here. Well, you saw 3 pieces. I already have one pre-cut. and stuff, and I have some stickers for embellishments, and I was actually working with some rub-ons, okay? And in this case, and this is the picture that I am focusing around, this is a picture from our wedding. So I will be doing that. Yes, exactly. Scrapbooking can be done in all kinds of sizes. But most people tend to think of the 12 by 12. So I am going to be doing this, like I said, in a smaller scale. And I'm using right now on a strip of, just a blue strip of cardstock, I am putting down some rub-ons that spell out the word October. Because I'm actually going to write out the date of our wedding. And like I said, this will end up probably on, or in a frame, better said, and up on our wall somewhere. Even though I have like a collage style with pictures, I thought this would be a really, really, really nice idea to do something. To do something a little bit different. Alright, so I had to think for a second, make sure I was spelling this right. And so rub-ons, as we know, they can go on anything. You can put them on paper, you can put them on glass, you can put them on wood. These ones are just alphabet ones that I had, and I love that they are distressed. Because, you know, life is not meant to be perfect. Our wedding day definitely was not perfect. I mean, it had as many hiccups as possible could have had. But you know what? As hubby was saying earlier when he was in here, you know, it couldn't have gone any better for us, right? It totally made the day ours, and that's what matters at the end of the day. That's why I try to tell people who are planning a wedding, don't stress it. Because you'll plan and plan and plan, and it's gonna be whatever. Alright. Exactly. Hiccups are what end up making it perfect. It also is what you end up remembering. You know, you remember, and yeah, at the moment, probably you were stressed about it, but now we laugh about it. So, alright. And then I'm going to get the 7 out here. Hey there, Miss Lydia. How are you doing? If this thing will work, I guess it won't. Hi there, Miss Lisa. I hope your son is well, my friend. And you could totally do cardinal numbers and put the TH. I don't think I'm going to do that. I don't think so. I think I'm just going to leave it as is. Now, my background, I do want to go with the blue, so we'll have to lay over it. These ones, I don't know, I got a whole bunch of them. They are from Making Memories, which I don't think that place is around anymore. But you can find rub-on letters and numbers and such. I mean, heck, even the dollar store carries some nowadays, if you can find them. This one's being a little stubborn, so we gotta give it a little bit of extra help. So it's wanting to come off. So. Hello there, Miss Deborah. How are you, my sweet friend? I hope you get to feeling better, dear. It's not nice to ever hear when our friends are not feeling well. And these ones go down so easily, though. But that's also why they tend to stick to the backing. It's because they do come off so easily. Alright. Okay. So I have that. I do have already a pre-cut piece of paper, which we're still going to, and this is going to end up being what I use for matting to put my picture on. So that is one thing. And like I said, I do want my background to be blue. Now, our colors at the wedding were black, blue, and silver. And so if you guys have ever noticed my engagement ring, those are the colors. And so that's the color scheme that we went with for our wedding. There was some green in the tartan that he wore that day, but as far as like my dress goes, I wore the white and blue. I actually have another picture here. I wore the white with blue. That was my wedding dress. And he had the black suit with the tartan on the bottom with the royal blue. So, oh no, flu symptoms. That's no fun. No fun at all. But I want to add some color to it. So I'm actually going to overlay. Okay. So I'm going to cut this piece of 12 by 12 smaller to fit on here. Okay. So we are going to pull out my handy dandy little trimmer here. And I do need to open it up. Hey there, Miss Christina Walter. How are you? You did a beautiful little recipe thing earlier, my friend. I'm so glad that you were able to figure out the little stamp hiccup there. So I've got that. Now I just need to see about where I need to trim this down as far as this side goes. So that would mean that I would need it to be about there. I told y'all I don't do the whole measuring thing. Even though some people swear that I'm measuring when I'm doing this, I'm not. I'm just coming in here and doing it like this. Thank you for the sprinkles, dear. So Creative Designs and DIY from Blueberry Hill, who just popped in the comments, she's actually up after me, and I'm excited to see what she's going to create. Like I said, I wanted to go straight with the scrapbook idea layout because why not? Y'all have seen me do lots of journaling, so I was like, let's do something a little bit different. Right? Okay, so I do have this, and like I said, we're going to trim this out, and I'm actually going to use my fun scissors to trim these, okay? Ooh, somebody's getting some happy mail. How fun. How are you doing, Miss Lydia? How are you doing, sweet friend? Again, thank you everybody for popping in. I do appreciate it a whole lot. I hope that you guys are inspired by all of the wonderful creators that will be on today. Like I said, check them out. Amazing creators. Some wonderful paper creators on here. And truth be told, it is important for us to save and preserve those memories. Whether they are pictures, they are family heirlooms, family recipes, whatever it may be, it is important to save them. Eastern time, dear. Eastern time. It's 1 o'clock Eastern time right now. And I'm just using my same scissors to kind of do my edges on a little bit on the round. And these are scallop scissors, by the way, if anybody was wondering. Hello there, Miss Maria. Welcome in, friend. I don't think I've seen you here before. Welcome. My name is Tamara. Most people know me as T. I am the Crafty Fox behind Crafty Fox Creations by Tamara. So thank you for joining us here at the Sacred Treasure House. Today's event, again, is scrapbook page layouts. I do believe there will maybe be some journaling as well. But I went scrapbook route. So that's the route I decided to go with. I went scrapbook route. Alright. Do you want to make this fun? Your central time. Cool. Yeah, I'm in the lovely and very hot state of Georgia today. Normally you would think it to be cold. Right now I'm just decorating my corners. Again, you know, we want this to be all nice and pretty, so pull out all your trimmers, pull out your punches, you know, all the things to make it look as pretty as can be. Okay, and I am going to use, now remember I said that our colors were blue, black, and silver, so I'm actually going to trim the edge. I'm going to use some black on it. Where'd it go? Just popping in to say hi. Hello there, Miss Lindell. How are you, sweet friend? Thank you for popping in. I appreciate you. I have so many amazing friends on here. I am truly blessed. Now, where did my black Dobby thing go to? So this is just, it's called black soot. It's distress oxide. And I'm just going to do black on the edge here. So that way it will, I could differentiate from the rest of the page. And I love this blue floral. We did some pictures out in a garden, so that kind of reminds me of that. Thank you for the sprinkles. Welcome in, Miss Jackie. Hello, everybody. Again, thank you so much for joining me today. I am part of Sacred Treasure House event, and it is hosted by three lovely ladies. Miss Deborah from Sacred Sew, Timeless Treasures by Tanya, and Lisa's Craft House. So please make sure that you are following them as well. Thank you for the sprinkles, Miss Tracy. I appreciate that. Appreciate you guys getting me out there into the universe. Like I said, this is so much fun. I have seen even little 4x4 memory albums done. So again, you can make your layouts to fit whatever you choose. In my case, I'm trying to make sure it fits a nice frame, because mine is not going to go into a book. I want to be able to see it every time I'm walking through my living room. You know, along with the pictures of the kids and things of that nature, I want to be able to see this. So that is what I will be doing. And yeah, who says that a scrapbook layout has to stay inside of a scrapbook? It can be out and about where you can see it. Right? At the end of the day, we preserve our memories how we best like it. I was on a whatnot show, and somebody was mentioning that they found a piece of jewelry that had hair in it. And I was like, yeah, you know, nowadays I've seen where people do jewelry out of people's ashes, or pets' ashes. And I was like, there was a time there were jewelers that were specialized in doing hair memory pieces. That's what they were called. So you would bring a locket of the person's hair to the jeweler, and they would make everything from bracelets to rings to like locket pieces that you would wear. You know, anything to keep your loved one close to you and keep those memories alive, right? So you make your spreads and you have them and display them where you know you're going to enjoy them the most. Because that's what it comes down to. Alright, now, I know that this is going to go on here, so I'm going to lay that down. Because that I know is going to go down. Everything else, I'm going to play around with the placement of it, so I'm not going to secure it just yet, right? I do want to be sure before I start putting stuff down, because I might put the date up top and then decide that I want to move it at the bottom, and if it's already stuck, well, we have to start all over again, and that would not be fun. So this is how we're going to do it. Definitely need to find those old photos that we keep, you know. I've started to see that it's starting to become trendy again to actually have a camera and take pictures and not just your phone, which I think is really nice, right? Oh, hi, Miss Nicole. I use Streamlabs. That is the setup that I use. It's called Streamlabs. I use the free version of it, and I like it too. Now, I was thinking that I'm going to overlay this 3 times over. Okay? Which means that I need to cut my black piece. So we're going to do like we did before. I'm going to use my board, and we're going to eye this thing. And we're going to cut it down to the measurements that we need it. Alright, so that's going to give me this bottom layer. And then we're going to make it all look all nice and pretty. And like I said, this is where you want to pull out your stickers. If you have, depending on what it is that you are keeping a memory of, if you have any mementos from the, you know, so if you have, let's say, like ticket stubs or invitations, you know, any of those things that made, you know, for that moment, this is where you want to start adding them, right? You want to add them around your layout. Okay, so like I said, this is going to be the center. I do want to jazz up the sides of everything. You never did the book scrapbook. Well, like I said, I never did the book per se. My scrapbook, if my daughter was looking at it, was just a regular picture album, and all of like my concerts, when I went to concerts as a teen, Those were in there. What else? The I would write little notes next to the pictures of, you know, where there was like silly little comments or where the picture was taken of. Just anything to preserve the moment. Hello there, Jenny. Welcome in. Thank you so much for popping in. I appreciate it. My name is Tamara. Everybody calls me T. And thank you for joining me today. I'm in an event and I am making a scrapbook slash, it's going to end up in a picture frame layout from my wedding day. This picture has been magnetized to my fridge door for the last few years, and I was like, you know what, this will be the perfect time to do something pretty with it instead of it being just on the fridge door. So that's what I'm doing. So welcome in, welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. I do appreciate y'all, especially all the new faces that I'm seeing. It is so nice to meet everybody. And thank you again to Miss Tanya and Miss Deborah and Miss Lisa for hosting these events here at the Sacred Treasure House. It is always an honor to be able to be part of these events, so I thank you for that. Now these little corner nibs here are gonna bother the bejeebies out of me, so I'm just going to kind of give them some form. Okay, so that's the one that's going to go down first. And you know, you can even go wonky with your setup and do something like that. Who says that it always has to be exactly the way that something is? It doesn't. So I might actually do that. I might actually do that. Hey there, Miss Vicky. Hi, how are you? Come here. I'm trying to get you to come. Thank you for popping in. I am over here making a layout that'll end up in a nice picture frame. And this is from our wedding day, and I'm trying to keep our colors, so I'm sticking to a lot of blues and blacks because those were the colors we had for our wedding. And like I said, if anybody pays attention, you'll see that those are the colors of my rings as well. Because like I said, we did keep to those colors for everything. My mom and sister-in-law and friends, they all helped with decorating that day. It was just a really nice day. Alright, so like I said, I do want to go kind of wonky with my papers here, just because, like I said, that day was a little on the wonky side for us. But I wouldn't change anything. Now, I am not a fan of pointy corners, so I am actually going to trim this. And we're gonna make even the picture look a little on the distressed side. We got married back in 2019. As I said, this picture's been on the... Yes! So our wedding was actually quite interesting. And I actually have a little tidbit of rope here because... So I wore the traditional wedding dress. We had a Jewish rabbi because I have Jewish heritage. And he has Welsh. So he wore kilt. Our boys wore, all of them except for my oldest, wore kilts. I actually have a picture of all of us together. So he wore the full, you know, penguin type top. That's my daughter. That's Gary's son. He also wore the kilt. This is my boy, the one who's off in the Navy. He wore the kilt as well. And then it's my oldest who just was like, nope, I'm wearing a suit. So I was like, okay. But yeah, that's them. Like I said, you know, we were trying to honor all of our heritage and background. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. And he likes wearing his kilts. So he wore his kilt, I wore my dress. Like I said, we gave the boys options, and 2 of the 3 were like, yeah, we'll wear a kilt. I was like, no. But him and my brother did match in colors. My brother's who walked me down the aisle, because my dad is on a no-fly restriction from his doctors, so he could not be here, so my brother walked me down the aisle, which was really nice as well. He would have worn his military uniform if he knew where it was, but he did make sure to get a whole new get-up the following year when he married my sister-in-law. They were only engaged at the time when we got married. But, you know, I am very grateful. We had a lot of family that could not be present, mainly because most of my family is overseas. So, but yeah, we had Jewish, Welsh traditions. We did the knot tying, which is traditional for the Irish background, which is where you hold your hands and they bind. And so our kids did that while reading the binding, because that's what they used to do, was just do that instead of like the whole vows, or that was their traditional vows, put it that way. So we did that. We did the crushing of the glass, which is a Jewish tradition. Yeah, so see how cute that is? I think that looks really nice. Like that. And like I said, this is why I didn't want to glue anything down, because if I need to move this to put it there, or if I want this to be further up and this go down here, that's what we will do. That's why you don't want to glue anything down like as you go, because you want to play with those different elements, right, as you're setting things up. I did bring corner pieces. These are stickers actually, which I thought might look really cute, but I don't know if I want to add them or not. Oh, really? Oh no. We talked with my rabbi, and I was like, so, and he was like, yeah, well, yes, of course, we'll do it. So it was really nice, you know, because I do have, well, I guess I'm gonna end up losing those unless I come further in. I would essentially end up losing that. But I almost think that that's worth losing because these are really cool. Oh, thank you, dear. I appreciate that. I really do. Yeah, like I said, it was a special day for us because that's what we wanted. We wanted it to be a special day that brought both, we're a blended family, so, and blended backgrounds, blended traditions. You learned a lot of that stuff watching Outlander. You know, I have not watched, I only watched ever the movie Outlander. I've heard that the series is good. And so I think I might need to watch that. You know, in Celtic, in the Celtic, not necessarily belief, but in their society, the women were the ones who owned the home, and if they didn't like what the dude was doing, dude, you were out. Because that was her land, that was her property. You know, the women and the children were protected. You know, also, it was the women who were the elders. And the fact that they could bring life into the world was one of the big reasonings behind that. So, there's a lot of aspects from the Celtic culture that I really, really like. And then I do like how this has, there's a love, a forever, and a cherish. And I wonder if I should put one up top here. And I think forever, but at the same time, cherish is important. You have to cherish each other. And all that goes on, right? Thank you. You're still watching? Thank you so much. Y'all are just so sweet. I appreciate it. So I think this is how I'm liking it so far. Like I said, I like the idea of maybe putting... Oh, we could put them on the sides. That'll work. Okay. So I'm going to start by putting down the first mat, which is this black one right here. So where did my thing go to? And I know I'm going to have to reinforce those with a little extra glue. And I'm just using a permanent double-sided tape. That's what I have in this roller. Thank you, Sissa. I appreciate it, my friend. How have you been, dear? Of course, my glue would be stopped up. Well, you just be safe. You get to your destination safely. That is what matters. You know, I always try to remember that it's important, yeah, to get to your destination, but you know, never be that much in a hurry that you don't make it to that destination. Okay, so we're going in at an angle with this. Thank you, Miss Christina Porter. I appreciate that, my friend. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing. Some tape and then some glue. The tape is great, but if the longer you want something to stay, you're going to want to add that glue. Because glue really gets between the fibers and has a chance to soak and to bind, where the tape really doesn't. It really just sits on top of the paper. So you do want to have a little bit of both. And I hope that everybody in here watching is also part of the free group Sacred Treasure House. I'm also streaming to my YouTube channel, so if you would like to follow me there, and if you are ever trying to catch replays, you'll be able to find them there. Especially seeing as FB likes to take our videos off after 30 days. And it's the same name as my page. Remember I said I was going to put some glue down, because it don't matter what stickers you use. I've always noticed you need to add a little extra something. And I'm using, for anybody who's wondering, I am using Aleene's Turbo Tacky Glue. It's supposed to dry a little faster than the regular tacky glue. It's also a little thicker than the regular tacky glue, so it doesn't run as much, which I like. I personally like that. And you know, the size of your pictures, you can put several pictures on one page. This one here is a 5x7 if I'm not mistaken. I don't know, hubby's the one who always does the printing of pictures in this household. So hello there, Miss Janet. Welcome in, friend. Welcome in. Today we are joining the Sacred Treasure House and their scrapbook layout or journal layout event, and I am doing a layout that is a little more traditional to scrapbooking, but I'm going to be actually putting mine into a frame down the road. That is the plan with that. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So again, whenever you get to gluing, and this goes for anything, anything paper related, you know, and you use the tapes, make sure that you are still using some kind of liquid adhesive so that you have that bonding of the fibers. Because we definitely want the fibers to bind, right? And then, like I said, I love these ones, so we're going to add these little, they're kind of like a book plate type. And so, let me see. And they are 2 pieces, which is actually really neat. So I'm going to put down the first one over on this side. See how it does. And we'll put this one over on that side. Yeah, I do like that. And that way I'm bringing in the silver element that was used, like I said, because those were our 3 colors. Hello there, Miss Kelly. How are you? I'm excited to see what everybody else is going to be making. Like I said, Christina, who was on before me, Miss Christina Walters, with Crafting and Creating with Christina, she was working on this beautiful sunflower, and it is sunflower journal, and it's going to be for recipes, which I thought was super cute. And that's actually something I'll be working on this year. My daughter has requested that I make something that has the recipes that I have cooked for them, because when I'm no longer around, and I'm like, geez, thanks, you make me sound like I'm ancient, she wants to be able to cook the stuff, so I want to make sure she has that. So I think I'm actually going to end up making her a journal, a recipe journal, with space for her to add her own, you know, things that she will make with her family, and then hopefully pass it down. So remember, this one had a 2-part piece because it had the word forever in the middle. So we're going to add that there. And then this one. And these ones are very cool because they do have the space if you wanted to add a brad, which I'm debating if I want to add a brad. I'd have to see if I have one that's small enough to fit. That would be the biggest thing. But these stickers just came from good old Dollar Tree. So if you are looking for them, I love the metallic look that they have. So again, thank you so much for stopping in and hanging out with me today. Hopefully I've inspired you to pull out your scrapbook paper, your stickers, your old pictures, yeah, and do something beautiful with it. You know, do something beautiful with it. Because at the end of the day, you know, pictures are great and all, but if we don't see them, you know, that's why I said this is going to go in a picture frame where I can see it all the time. Because there will be a day that it's not going to come to my mind as easily as it does now. So, because I mean, we are all getting old, so it will happen. It is bound to happen. You know. I like how that looks. It's looking so cute. And where did my glue top thingy go to? Because if not, I'm going to dry this glue out. Ah! Another glue without a top. Oh well. You know? See, I had pulled this one out, not for the stickers necessarily, but because there's a frame here, you know, that you could use to like frame a picture. But I like how this looks, so I'm not going to put it, I'm not going to add that there. I did like this, plan a happy life. I did like that, and I thought that would look really pretty, but I have to make sure that I take off, because there's these little colorful dots on it, and obviously that's not going to match. So if I come and I add this here, gotta be careful with that. It would look nice, but I have to cut off. Like I said, I have to cut these little dots off. Where my scissors go to. Thank you! Y'all are too kind, I tell you. So I'm going to put this in here, and I'm just going to cut this off. Cut these colorful balls off because they don't even coordinate with my colors. And you can, you know, the beautiful thing about any type of layout is that you can make it your own. You know, mix and match the colors that you like. Like I said, in our case, the colors that we picked for our wedding were blue, black, and silver. So I did try to stick with those colors. You know, because again, those were our colors. If you had a birthday party and you're putting the pictures of that birthday party, go with the themes, with the colors of whatever that birthday party was, right? Oh no, Miss Teresa, I'm so sorry to hear that. Don't worry about it, hun. It'll be fine. We got some time. We got some time. I hope you feel better. I was gonna work on your package later while I was watching everyone. Okay, so let me see. I'm gonna pull this up and see what I think of it. That looks cute. What y'all think? I think it came out nice. I do. I think it came out lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Of course, I've got everything falling down. You know, there's like little metal pieces that you can find. I mean, there's always all kinds of different things that you can use to embellish with. So, find the things that are the things that you enjoy. Like I said, things that go with the theme. You know, things that are going to make you feel like you brought this to you. Aw, thank you, dear. I appreciate it. Let me see, since we have a few minutes left, if I have some small enough brads to hold these little book things in. I think I may, but I'm not 100% sure. I think I may, I think I might. We shall find out. If I have teeny tiny silver ones. Here's my silver. Okay, so here are the brads. And I mean, technically that one would work. So we could put some brads on here. I do have some that are small enough. So we're gonna add some brads. So it looks like we stuck those together. Thank you again for having me. I really do appreciate it. Hello there, Miss Julie. How are you, sweet friend? Thank you for popping in. Hello. Today's event is scrapbook layouts. So I did a scrapbook style layout that will end up in a picture frame. And right now we're just embellishing, adding some bits and bobs. I don't know. I got very blessed that I saw this one because I tend to miss all the sign-ups ever. I don't know. I'm bad about that. I tend to miss every sign-up ever. By the time I look at it, I'm like, dang it! Even the last ones are gone. And y'all know that for me, I'm normally a late night crafter, so give me the 8, 9 o'clock. I'm a happy person, right? Because that's just how I am. So it then gets hard when you, because I'm like, I can definitely not do those 8, 9 in the mornings. 10 is pushing it. 11 I can do. I'm usually up by 11. And then Tuesdays is also hard because Tuesdays is usually therapy day for my daughter. So, yes, it would. To see me and my hubby change. Oh my gosh. I don't know if we want to do that. This was already 6 years ago, so they do go fast. Especially, you know, especially when you have good hostesses, events go fast. Because people want to be part of the event. Alright, now you get in there. Thank you. Yeah, we have been blessed to be married now for a few years, so I'm very grateful for that. And even more that we've known each other for as long as we have too. So see how that one looks with the brads versus that one that doesn't have the brad? So I said, yep, let's get those brads in because they will definitely make a difference. Guys, stay tuned because up after me is, let me try to remember her name again. Creative Designs and DIY from Blueberry Hill. Miss Rhea, she will be up after me. And I'm excited to see what she's going to be creating. So we have a few creators today. I'm only the second one, so guys, stay tuned for real. Y'all are gonna be so blessed with all of the awesome ideas that will be presented to you. You have made several. Yep, it does make a difference, doesn't it? So see, yeah. Alrighty guys, again, thank you so much for being here. I really do truly appreciate you. Thank you. I hope you guys like it and are inspired to make your own version of whatever. Because again, that's what we're here for. We're here to inspire each other. So thank you so much for having me. To Miss Deborah, Miss Tanya, and Miss Lisa. Let's go and see Miss Rhea. Again, you can see all of the creators today on Sacred Treasure House. It is a free event group, so you can see everybody who's been on and will be on in the same place. Just, you know, have to refresh the page, and you'll be able to see everybody. So let's go and watch Rhea. Such a little addition and such a big difference. It does, doesn't it, Miss Valerie? Thank you, Miss Christina Porter, so much for joining me. It was a pleasure to have you, my friend. I am very grateful to make new friends. So thank you again to everybody. I love you guys, and I will be keeping everybody in prayers, especially those who are sick like Miss Deborah. So stay tuned, my friends, and let's go see Miss Rhea at Creative Designs and DIYs from